Welcome to the Soul Health Mentor podcast with Nadia Kraus. Learn how to move your awareness out of your mind and into your heart so you can embody your divinity, experience joyous peace of mind, and create your most vibrant life by opening to receive your soul's sacred medicine.
Hello, beautiful soul. Hello, strong heart. Hey, brilliant listener. It's so wonderful you are back. Welcome to Soul Health Mentor podcast episode number 85. And today we're going to talk about a big topic. What does divine timing have to do with it? And I'm going to talk about what it is, how it works, how you can trust it. But before I can talk about those three things, I have to speak to different aspects of it first. I'm speaking about your humanity and your divinity in this. What does your humanity and your divinity have to do with organic, natural timing? I'm going to talk about the difference between your life path and your soul path. What is it? And I'm going to talk about how self-actualization, rather than the law of attraction, is the main catalyst for bringing heartfelt desires into your reality. The approach of the law of attraction is missing a huge aspect. And because it's missing this very huge aspect that I'm going to talk about, it's outdated. It served its time, the big hype about the law of attraction, but it is outdated. It's all about self-actualization, really realizing and actualizing your divine potential. I'm also going to talk to you about how my challenges in my life path, on my soul path, were showing me how I need to align with integrity, grace, and ease while I am learning and teaching the quantum healing practices necessary for self-actualization. And the last 9 years, I was learning. I was walking my talk and taking my medicine, and I still do. And I was teaching these self-actualizing practices, these quantum healing and empowerment practices with my clients. I was doing it with my clients, and I was teaching it to my one-on-one clients and to the members of my membership program. And I always walk by example, and the example is activating self-love leadership. And now I'm coming out to talk about it on Soul Health Mentor Podcast, which is all about health and wellness living in body, in mind, in heart, all about emotions and practical, pragmatic logic. It's all about your soul, your light body. It's about embodying soul health and your purpose. So it's really, in the grand scheme of things, it really is about cultivating health and wellness living in your body, in your mind, in your heart, making friends with your emotions, the negative and the positive, so you can activate your soul power and align to your spirit, to your essence. And then you understand that everything happens in organic, natural timing, in natural rhythms and cycles, in harmony with the earth and the cosmos. So let's start. All right. So what is your humanity and what is your divinity? Your humanity is your personality. You have a personality and you have a history and you have life experiences that are unique to you, and you are literally as unique as a snowflake. There's no other you. And while personalities might flock together, because like minded people tend to do that, it's based on a value system. You and your personality, in combination with your soul, only exist once. And of course, there's personality typing, and all of these things are very, very valuable. That is your humanity. Your personality also entails your ego. That is your rational mind. That is your conditioning. That is what you have been taught to believe about yourself. But it's not necessarily true anymore. It might have been true in the past, but when you're growing and developing yourself, especially because you want to fulfill your divine potential, you want to find and live your purpose, you want to embody your soul health, you want to cultivate that mastery of health and wellness living on every level, then your personality is so much smaller than your soul. And your divinity is your soul, your soul's gift, your essence. And in the first season of Soul Health Mentor podcast, I talked all about out of your mind and into your heart wisdom, and I still do. We are just expanding it to a life that is happy, healthy, healed, and wealthy because you understand the mastery in health and wellness living through quantum healing practices. And there's going to be humans out there, people, personalities out there that do not resonate with all of this. They might feel very strongly identified with their personality and their ego and their history and their belief systems, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Gary Zukav wrote about this in the 80s in his book, The Seat of the Soul. He was talking about the third dimensional human being and the fifth dimensional human being. And he explains it so wonderfully. It blew my mind how well he explained it. I read the book first in the 90s, and I remember my heart and soul resonating, and my personality intrigued and excited because I was really interested in my divine potential. But my mind, my rational mind, my ego, I couldn't wrap my mind around it. I didn't fully understand it. And then I went on my life and soul path, and I discovered the healing tools, the quantum healing tools, to embody my soul health and purpose. And 20 years later, I read the book again, or maybe even 30, it was 2018. I read 2017, 2018. I read the book again, and then everything made sense. So you might know the book, and if you do, read it again. I love reading it over and over again. It's just so wonderful. And if you don't know the book, check it out. The Seat of the Soul by Gary Zukav. One of my favorite quotes in that book is, "When a personality comes fully to serve the energy of its soul, that is authentic empowerment." And that is what Soul Health Mentor Podcast is all about. It's about heart and soul, baby, body and soul, authentic empowerment on every level. So the difference between your life path and your soul path is that your life path as a human can get really complicated. It can get complicated because you have belief systems that don't align with your potential, because you have difficult and negative emotions that are based on negative experiences, your history, and it can even be a generational thing. There's such a thing as generational karma and personal karma. So it can get really, really complicated, and I would like to simplify it by just planting the seed. So for me, fate is a negative karmic pattern that keeps looping and keeps creating the same thing over and over again. And I'm going to quote Albert Einstein here because he said it so beautifully. You cannot solve a problem with the same thinking that created the problem in the first place. So it takes higher mind, it takes divine mind, it takes a higher vantage point view, and that is the quantum healing tool of the Akashic Records. In my first season, I talked about it a lot, that I do work with the Akashic Records. I've been connected to my own Akashic Record since the age of 14. I remember consciously, it probably was earlier, but that's when I remember consciously accessing my records to always find these higher vantage point views. I was asking the questions: what is happening here? Why is it happening? And how can I do it better? And it had to do with watching my parents looping in negative patterns. And even though they talked about the law of attraction and they talked about positive thinking and you can have everything and anything you want in life, they kept manifesting the same thing over and over again. So their soul path was very different than their life path. Their life path and their personality was stuck in the same negative karmic patterns and loops that have been there for a while. The soul path is patient. You do not need the Akashic Records. You do not need an Akashic Records practitioner to read the records for you and do a clearing and activate a healing. Your soul, in collaboration with your personality, will figure it out. It's just a thing of time. So the Akashic Records is a quantum healing and empowerment tool that accelerates personal growth and development. It accelerates your evolution. It accelerates the ascension process. So it really is such a gift because it cuts through the BS. It really just gets to the nitty-gritty of things. And I remember I had my very first mentor at age 18, and she told me, she gave me a choice point. She said, Nadia, you can complain and you can play the victim and you can point the finger at the perpetrator and you can loop in this pattern for 6 months. Or you can pull up your socks and acknowledge it and get through it in 3 weeks. What do you choose? And I chose 3 weeks. I wasn't here to waste time. So that is the difference between your life path and your soul path. A life path can be very fated, while your soul path is all about personal growth and development, alignment to your heart and soul, to your divine potential, so that you can connect and align with your destiny, your potential of what you came here to be and do. And that's why self-actualization, rather than the law of attraction, is the main catalyst for bringing heartfelt desires into your reality. Because the law of attraction, if you have negative karmic patterns looping in your subconscious, it's an energetic thing. When there's wounds that haven't been cleared and healed, then you're attracting via the wound. You're attracting via the negative karmic pattern. And you can't manifest anything new. You can't. And you can't even self-actualize your gifts, your spiritual gifts, your soul's gift. So that was what I learned as I was facing my own challenges, because my dad taught me about the law of attraction and it worked for the longest time. But at age 35, I hit a wall and I had manifested a whole lot of horrible things, unpleasant things, things that were hurting me, that were painful. And I couldn't understand why the heck would I manifest such a life? And that's when the deep cleanup work began. The deep, deep cleanup work of negative karmic patterns, of generational pain and wounding, of shadow healing. it's not just about light work. It's also about befriending the shadow and going to the depths of you. So that started at 35 and really culminated at age 40 and the last 8.5, 9 years in the United States. That was me traveling to the underworld of all my challenges to clear the root. To clear the root, and it went deep. It went so beyond my life. It was clearing the maternal lineage, and it was clearing the paternal lineage. And it's work that never stops. It's just an onion you peel. And in this onion you peel, mastery in health and wellness living is cultivated, and it's a beautiful thing, and it's joyous, and it is wonderful, and I'm filled with gratitude for being able to communicate this with you and to you today. So cultivating health and wellness living is a bodily thing, it is a mental thing, it is a heart level thing, it involves your emotions, all of it, the negative and the positive, and it has you connecting to your spirit, your essence, and your soul, and connecting to your soul, your light body, via the Akashic records is the fastest way to go. It is deep, it is quick, and it clears the root. And in all of this, divine timing has to do with your soul path. Divine timing has to do with synchronicity and divine orchestration. And the ego doesn't always like that because the personality is impatient. And our societal conditioning is all about productivity and fast, 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 and proving your worth and showing that you are enough. But that has nothing to do with your soul. So divine timing, you find in harmony with natural rhythms and cycles of the earth and moon. That's where you find divine timing, and nature will show you. My first mentor told me at age 18 that a growth cycle is 12 months, that nature shows us. First you sow the seeds, then you water and fertilize and nurture the seeds, then you harvest the seeds, and the nurturing, supporting, and nourishing the seeds, that's quite a while before you harvest. Then you harvest and celebrate, and then it's winter time where a lot of shadow work can happen, a lot of clearing work can happen. You're letting go of an old version of you. Maybe you're grieving, and that is a full cycle. So I have created another episode where I talk about manifesting in natural rhythms and cycles, and it is what we do in my Empowered Goddess Temple membership program. So I've already mentioned that I work one-on-one with the Akashic Records and you to switch your soul power on. This entails an Akashic Records reading of your soul's gift, your original divine soul blueprint. That's your divine potential. That's what wants to be self-actualized. Then we clear the soul story that is in the way of your heart's wishes and soul desires currently, the thing you want most right now. What's in the way of that? What has you looping in negative karmic patterns? And then you activate your healing and empowerment with a 21-day clearing prayer process. So that's my one-on-one work. And then we do self-care and soul care. We do health and wellness living in body, mind, heart, emotion, spirit, and soul in the Akashic, in the Akashic field. Sometimes when I do sanctuary restored circles, that is correct. But what I wanted to say is we do it in sisterhood. We do it together because what we do together in the membership program is all about those healing tools, those quantum healing and empowerment tools, because those are practices. The Akashic one-on-one work clears the root. It is fast and it cuts to the chase. And then the Empowered Goddess Temple membership helps you practice the tools, practice the healing, practice the empowerment. So having said all of this, divine timing is like an old-fashioned watch. Have you ever looked into clockwork? What it looks like? There are so many pieces to it, and so many pieces have to move to align to have the time told. I'm thinking German right now, so the words aren't coming out right. But I want you to think of an old-fashioned clock, and it has so many parts to it that all need to align so that the clock can strike 12. That's what I wanted to say. So things can come into perfect alignment to manifest the dream your soul has for you. Divine timing works in natural rhythms and cycles that you can connect to via the earth and moon and your intuition, your inner guidance system. And you can trust it because it cultivates your authentic empowerment. But what you need to know about divine timing, soul is boss. Soul is boss. Not your ego, not your personality, not your striving, not your proving yourself. It takes dedication to your human and divine potential, and it takes a devotion to your soul path. Thank you so much for being here today and listening. And next episode, I am sharing a wonderful soul health mentor interview with you on Scalar Light. It's a quantum healing tool that supports your health and wellness living in body, mind, heart, emotion, spirit, and soul.
Thank you for listening to the Soul Health Mentor podcast with Nadia Kraus. If you like what you heard, please subscribe, rate, and review at Apple Podcasts or wherever podcasts are playing.